Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 3rd, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery here, and you can see this cold air spilling out across the Gulf of Alaska back into the Pacific Northwest. We're going to do a thunderstorm threat here across the region again today, maybe some snow pellets and some small hail mixed in with that as well, and then we're going to go a little bit chillier overnight tonight, and probably some light snow is going to fly around the area. You might see some nice wintry scenes here across Pacific Northwest. We'll take a look at those snow maps here in a moment as well. Now, taking a look here, this is out towards Skykomish, Washington. This is live right there, the train cam out there on YouTube here. You can see Virtual Rail Fan is that page name down there. You can see it's got over 40,000 subscribers, and you can see this active snowfall occurring right now. It is sticking out there as well. Pretty nice scene out there. Glad that they could share this with me. Now, taking a look here, you got current hazards. You can see the winter weather advisories across some portions of the Olympic Peninsula out there, including Highway 101. So watch out for that. Through tomorrow morning could be some snow falling across the area. Winter weather advisories down through Portland as well here too, mainly for areas, on the higher hills there. I wouldn't be too worried down towards sea level. Might get a little bit of a slushy accumulation, and that potential does exist for western Washington, eastern Washington as well. There's just no advisories out at this time. Now, taking a look here, the day one thunderstorm outlook, you can see it come in towards Olympia a bit here, and it wouldn't completely rule out a potential for a lightning strike somewhere across the Puget Sound or the Willamette Valley towards the Cascade foothills today as well. This is day two, mainly the coastal areas all the way down from Washington through California shown there. This is lightning flash density potential here on this morning's HRRR, and you can kind of see this potential as we go through this afternoon, including mostly the coastal areas, even up towards Vancouver Island. Lightning strike potential does exist as you go through the afternoon and evening today, and then it wanes overnight. This is looking at surface-based Cape, NAM 3KM, and you can see that instability and increases as you go through the later morning and afternoon hours shown here, and then starts to wane by the time you get towards the evening hours. Now, here we go looking at the composite reflectivity. If we put this into motion here, you'll notice the showers rolling on in today. And then as we get a little bit further on into the evening, you notice some of the snow start to mix in here across some of western Washington and western Oregon here as we go on in through tonight into tomorrow morning here. So you might see some nice wintry scenes on the social media there, and you might keep some of the snow going off and on through the morning hours across some of the Willamette Valley as well, as you can kind of see this upper level low spinning across the Oregon coast here by the time you get in towards tomorrow, and then lift up across the area. So bring some snow bands and some snow showers east of the Cascades as well as we go, even though it's going to be a little bit less moisture to deal with out there. It doesn't take as much because temperatures are colder. Now, taking a look here, this is total snow could share ratio in inches, the NAM 3KM. I'd caution against using this as actual snowfall totals you're going to see. I'm just kind of showing you what potentially could be going on here. So as we go on into the overnight hours tonight, you can kind of see some of this activity across western Washington, some bigger amounts across the peninsula up towards 101 up against the Olympic Mountains there. And then you can see on through Saturday morning some of that potential down through the Willamette Valley a bit. Again, it's going to be on the higher hills. Really difficult to get to stick closer to sea level here across the area. And then this is going to move up across eastern Washington on in through Saturday night as well. As you can see some bands of snowfall out towards Spokane Highway 2, some of the higher elevations as well as we go on in through Sunday afternoon shown there. And of course, bigger amounts across the higher terrain, including the coastal range up through Vancouver Island, the Cascades, of course, as well. Now, taking a look here, upper level pattern, you can see Alaska, Washington, Oregon there. This is 500 millibars, somewhere up towards 18,000 feet. Put that into motion, and you can see this colder air setting up shop off our coastline here. This low is going to spin for a few days right off our coast, get reinforced a little bit by some colder air. And then again, as we go on in through next week, before maybe we start to warm up a bit and start to get this colder air out of here. But you can kind of see this trough still exists here across some of the Gulf of Alaska here, and could potentially still bring systems in towards our region here as we go on in towards next weekend. We'll watch that as we go day by day coming up here. Now, taking a look here, this is the European, this is 6-hour precipitation type. And we are getting some snow, as you saw this morning by Skykomish, some areas off in the foothills as well, in the higher terrain. We go through today, and you can kind of see the shower activity increasing. We go over overnight tonight, and you can see, excuse me, a lot of this area changing over to snow as we go on in through tomorrow morning. So it might not be sticking too much, but there might be some nice wintry scenes out there. And there are some areas that are going to be favored, like the higher hills, of course, and places, again, out towards the Olympic Peninsula as well. And then put that into motion. You kind of see these bands lifting up and across eastern Washington, eastern Oregon, as well as this low pressure system sits off our coastline here for the next few days. This would be shown Monday afternoon with that low pressure kind of still meandering off our coastline there with some pretty chilly air aloft associated. This is the UW model here, and Cliff Mass did a blog on this yesterday about accumulated model snowfall versus actual just snowfall numbers. So the UW model tries to show you how much is going to accumulate in any given area. So if you put that into motion, you can see a little bit of snowfall come in as we go on into tomorrow morning around some of the metro areas up towards Everett a bit. And you can see, of course, you get the higher terrain, you get much better amounts. But look at some of the amounts across Kitsap Peninsula as you go on in through Saturday morning, shown there as it kind of piles up. You get 1 to 4 inches out there coming up here. And you can even see Highway 12 going back and forth between Olympia and out towards Aberdeen. You might get a little measurable snowfall, even showing it kind of getting out towards the coastline a bit here too as well. So just have a heads up out there. And of course, the higher hills are going to be favored. Move out a bit on into Sunday now. We're going into Sunday afternoon and evening. You can see some of the snow activity try to move east of the mountains as well, including the Blue Mountains, of course, in northeast Washington where the elevation is higher. Looking at Oregon here too, let's let this play through, and you can see the Cascades getting some nice snowfall here coming up, and some of the coastal areas could be seeing some snowflakes, including Brookings, Oregon down there. We'll look at the National Weather Service graphic, Medford here in a moment. Blue Mountains as well. Maybe see some flakes flying across some of the Willamette Valley. Of course, higher hills again, better chances. Take a look at Idaho, put it into motion. You can see the valley down here, and you can see that the snowfall, of course, accumulates higher terrain, but you could see, again, flirting with some snowfall down to the lower elevations, even all the way out there. You see western Montana getting some decent amounts also here as well. But yeah, it's going to remain wintry here for the next few days here across Pacific Northwest for sure. And this is taking a look at that 2-meter temperature anomaly. This is the GFS. This is just day at a time. And you can see the below average signal here across Pacific Northwest. Pretty chilly up through British Columbia. Some Arctic air trying to get down into the region there. It's not really interacting too directly here with this low pressure system off the coastline. Although the air aloft is pretty cold, you can see us hanging out in this chilly pattern as we go on in through early to mid-March, maybe starting to relax at the end of the period. Taking a look here, the National Blend of Models. You can see the warm-up maybe coming out here as we get towards next weekend. You know, cross your fingers if you want some warmer weather, but we're not going to count on that just yet. We still have several days to go, as you can see, with this chilly upper level low nearby. Portland International, similar deal there. Bellingham, you can see maybe that signal for a little bit of a warm up going towards the end of the week here. And Spokane, chilly temperatures and maybe a little bit of a bump also in the extended. Now, this is Seattle Tacoma. This is, for an example, you might see maps like this on social media here, but you're very unlikely to see 2 to 3 inches of accumulating snowfall here for Seattle Tacoma. A lot of this would be melting as it fell, so you might get some kind of coating that covered the grass or the cars out there, wood areas, rooftops, for example. But this can include plane wings. It doesn't take much accumulation at all to really cause de-icing disruption at the airport there. So make sure to check what time your flight is leaving. Watch for those delays here. If you do see the flakes flying as you go on in through Saturday morning and Saturday, this is Portland International, similar deal here. A lot of this down towards the lower elevations is not likely to be accumulated to 2 inches here. You might see a little bit of a coating here, but do not expect disruptive 2-inch snowfall across the region. Spokane, colder over there, but less moisture to deal with here. And it depends on where these snow bands set up as this upper level low throws some moisture off into eastern Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. Now, taking a look here, this is Eugene. And again, same goes for here. I just want to caution you guys about these ensemble run models here and looking at these. This is very unlikely to accumulate to 3 inches here, especially to lower elevations, as I've said. Same thing here with Painfield up towards Everett, although you could see a coating of snowfall and it might be nice watching it. It's not likely to be a 2 to 3 inch disruptive snowfall into the lower elevations. It can be a different scenario once you start getting above 500 feet, 700 feet, 1,000 feet. Then you can easily start to accumulate that snowfall a little bit better. That's why it pays to know exactly what your elevation is and where you're living. Now, taking a look here, this is for the avalanche map here, and you can see considerable avalanche danger across the area. The snows are going to continue to pile up for the next few days across some of the higher terrain as well, and I don't think we'll be going into high. It doesn't look like that disruptive of an event coming up here, but considerable is still pretty dangerous out there. And so, yeah, go ahead and check out avalanche.org if you have any questions about that, or you want some extreme detail about the backcountry where you might be traveling. And this exists all the way down through the Oregon Cascades, Blue Mountains, out through Idaho as well, Idaho Panhandle, on into Montana. This is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You can see this bullseye here is this cold air just kind of hanging off the Pacific Northwest and really engulfing the region here, continuing storms into California also. This is for Medford, Oregon. Look at this, Brookings, Oregon. 2 to 3 inches out there. Look at Siskiyou Summit, 4 to 6. Klamath Falls, 2 to 3. Look at Crater Lake getting maybe a foot of snowfall there as well. Roseburg getting in the action as well. So watch out. You get any terrain height out there across I-5, and you're going to be dealing with some accumulating snowfall on the roadways out there. You can see the low snow levels here and then rising as you go into the afternoons. Now here we go, 24-hour snowfall forecast for Seattle National Weather Service. You can see the 3 to 4 inches along Highway 101 out there. So heads up across the Olympic Peninsula and up against the Olympics there. You could see that measurable snowfall, generally less than an inch for the lower elevation I-5 corridor, all the way down towards Portland, though, for the lower elevation showing up there. This is for Spokane National Weather Service here too as well. You can see weekend winter precipitation, snow showers Friday, bands of steady snow late Saturday into Sunday there. Breezy southwest winds, and always good graphics there from the National Weather Service Spokane. So anyway, yeah, we're going to continue this cold air. You can see it coming out. It's going to set up shop here. It's going to be with us for the next few days. There is a little bit of a thunderstorm threat as we mentioned, and it might be a nice scene here, but it doesn't look like a huge disruptive snowfall for like main, I-5 corridor area down into Portland or Seattle at right now. We just don't have that upper air setup right now that's favorable for that, especially at this time of year. So anyway, yeah, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Click like, subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow. We'll check out some of the details and watch out for that snow flying tonight into tomorrow morning. If it starts snowing here, I might do a live stream tonight or maybe tomorrow night. We'll see how things go. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.